DHL Stadium in Cape Town presents one of the most hostile environments in international rugby, a massive arena built to house a century of rivalry. Visiting teams don't just face the 15 men on the pitch. They contend with 47,130 South African fans, bearing down on every mistake. The All Blacks faced a statistical nightmare, conceding 16 penalties and 3 yellow cards to the home side's clean record. This damage was front-loaded. 9 penalties came in the first 40 minutes alone, preventing New Zealand from building consistent momentum. The Stormers leveraged those calls to dictate field position, using a dominant scrum to pin the visitors deep inside their own territory. As the wider team structure began to collapse under that weight, Samosani Takahau emerged as the focal point of the All Blacks' resistance. Stardom in this environment is forged by providing structural integrity when the entire system is failing around you. In the opening minutes, the All Blacks needed to establish physical parity immediately to avoid being overwhelmed by the Stormers' pack. They turned to the rolling maul, a tight cluster of forwards used to drive the ball carrier through close-range territory. This schematic defines the mechanics. Takahau positioned himself as the anchor at the back, steering the pack's momentum. As the Stormers illegally pulled the front down, triggering a penalty advantage, Takahau maintained a strict forward vector from the rear. He absorbed the contact, rode multiple defenders through the collapsing bodies, and forced the ball to the turf for the opening try. Scoring in that moment provided a critical lifeline, preventing the Stormers from leveraging their early penalty dominance into an insurmountable lead. In the open field, Takahau transitions from static anchor to mobile playmaker, moving with a speed that forces a reconfiguration of the Stormers' defensive line. He found a seam through the middle of the defensive structure, breaking into the backfield. This diagram maps his execution. Takahau used footwork to draw the defender in, then released a timed offload out the back door to Cortez Ratama. While Takahau was executing with clinical precision, the discipline of the wider team continued to unravel. Anton Leonard-Bown and Simon Parker were sent to the sin bin, leaving the All Blacks heavily short-handed. Meanwhile, Dion Forey dominated the breakdown for the Stormers. Between his anchor role in the maul and the line break that released the pressure, Takahau provided the tactical stability needed for this short-handed side to reach halftime deadlocked at 14-all. At halftime, the All Blacks shifted gears. This trend line reveals a dramatic drop in their penalty concession rate. This discipline starved the Stormers of exit points, reversing their 57% territorial dominance and flipping the field position in favor of the visitors. Operating from this disciplined foundation, the All Blacks injected fresh bench players and launched a 24-14 second-half scoring blitz. Long-range transition tries from Leroy Carter and Josh Morby punished the Stormers' high-risk kicking game, turning those half chances into absolute match-defining points. The final score of 38-21 masks the reality of the first 50 minutes, where the match was balanced on a knife edge. In Cape Town, Samosani Takahau demonstrated that elite status is built through structural integrity, becoming the immovable point that allowed the All Blacks to survive their own collapse and eventually pull away.